talking about our Umlindi backpack here by Hill People Gear. This pack has been in our lineup. Well, it's the second longest pack in our lineup, and it remains my favorite backpack. It's based on the Lumbar Pack that I carried back in the Wyoming Hot Shots, and basically the exercise here for me was to create the tallest lumbar pack I could. When you go up in height versus back in height, you're keeping the load center of gravity closer to your body center of gravity, and it's going to carry better. So I didn't want it super deep, but I did want it as tall as I could get. You see it here with a belt. It comes without a belt, but it carries fine beltless as well. It carries very nicely beltless. The thing about it, as far as from adjustment standpoint, that you're going to have to be aware of is it's meant to nestle down in your lumbar area, and as such you're going to adjust it a little bit differently than most packs that you're accustomed to. It's very much an off-the-shoulders pack. One of the benefits of that, if you're somebody who's carrying a rifle around slung up crossbody either in the front or around back, because everything's off the shoulders, that works very nicely compared to a taller pack with load lifters. Once you put a belt on it like this, between that and these Delta straps, you can get this thing set up so it cams into your lumbar area, and you have very little felt weight on your shoulders, even though it's just a huge lumbar pack. So this is the version 2, as I mentioned earlier, and we've upgraded a few things. Like, this has been in the lineup for a long time. This is my go-to day hiking pack. But I'll just talk about the feature set from the top down. First of all, it has our contoured harness, which is meant to drape the shoulders, and that's something a lot of people understand now, and it's kind of legendary for its comfort. Inside, you have one large compartment all the way to the bottom, but there's a little bit more to it than that. There's dual over-the-top straps, and underneath that, we now have a zippered non-dimensional zippered pocket on the top lid. That's a new feature. Inside the pack, the underside of the lid is the Velcro field, so you can put any of the Velcro back pouches on it. We also have an externally accessible zip pocket. Now, if you're familiar with the version 1, this is the same pocket that was in the version 1, except for instead of going to here, it goes all the way to the bottom. It is still also accessible from a Velcro closure inside of the pack as well. In practice, this ends up for me being the place where those small trail items go, like my water filter here. This pack will still take one of our back pockets, the PALS pocket, the Terra pocket, the admin pocket, but with this back pocket, I end up not running a PALS pocket as much as I used to. That's where I'd keep all of those small trail items. One word of caution: when you have this pocket filled up, it intrudes into interior space, and you can't necessarily stuff the interior as full as you would without it, but you have both choices. This pocket is tall enough for fusees if you want to use it for that purpose. The bellows pocket is considerably larger than the bellow pocket was before. We've made this large enough to hold 2 Nalgene's on each side of the pack. So it'll hold any canteen cup arrangement quite easily. And then the cinch basically reinforces the bellows naturally. So if you don't want anything in there, you've still got a nice tight little setup. So those are the bellows pockets. The other thing that we've done, this used to be a single plastic frame, or a plastic frame sheet with a single stay. Now it has dual stays that line up with all of the suspension elements. So from a chassis capacity standpoint, this thing's much more robust than the previous version was. There is a hose port in the top lid for those who like to run a water bladder on the inside. And on the suspension side here, we have still, you've got the full length sleeve there that's padded sling. For EDC use, this will take a laptop, particularly if you don't have stays in there and you're just running the frame sheet. And then the lumbar pad, we've switched to the same style as on the Aston House Backcountry, the Connor version 2. And the reason we did that is because it makes it more comfortable beltless, which you know, it works fine with a belt, but it's more comfortable beltless. So that's the reason we did that. And just like the version 1, there is bottom straps here, which you can secure, you know, a coat or a smallish bedroll or even a fire shelter. You can secure underneath this thing. And those are adjustable for quite a bit of length. And then we do have the loop for an ice axe or an axe or something, where you just attach it here, flip it over the top, and go underneath these compression straps. So what might you use this pack for? Like I said, this is my favorite day hiking pack. As you can see, I carry a fair amount of stuff on the trail. Eagle Scout, be prepared kind of guy. But for me, this is the right size as far as carrying what I want on the trail, summer and winter. It makes a good EDC pack. It makes a good travel pack, beltless, because it's under that size. It's bigger than like the Connor version 2, quite a bit. It's bigger than the Terra, bigger than the Junction. So it's got a fair amount of volume. At the same time, you know, you can do, well, yeah, I know people have done overnighters and multi-day overnighters with this pack. Because of the chassis and the way that it marries into your lumbar area, you can really plus up size underneath these top straps. You know, you can put a full bedroll on top here, and it just balances on top pretty nicely. So, you know, if you want to use it in that mode, like a day pack or a light overnight, or if you're an ultralighter in one of the environments where you really can get by with less insulation, this is a pack that certainly has the chassis capability to carry a fair amount of gear, and the off-the-shoulder is something that a lot of people find very comfortable in desert environments and humid environments. So that's what you might use it for. So again, this is the Umlindi version 2 by Hill People Gear, and like all of our gear, it's made in the US out of US materials.